So we have come to the wolf's lair today, and we did get a heads up. The parking's a shit, by the way. It's cost us 50 zloty to get in here, which is fine, that's reasonable. But the parking was a nightmare, and they just keep letting people in. So, you know, maybe don't leave it so late in the day, maybe. Now, we did get warned, grab one of these plans, because it's quite a large area, and you know, then you won't miss anything. So that was 5 zloty for the plan, but we think it's going to be a really worthwhile investment. Are you done?
Yeah.
Post office. It's like quite amazing to see how much they got in here. You've got to remember, we're in the middle of the forest, and over the back in the distance there is a typist's station. Just going into the typists. Duck. I mean, for something that looks so beautiful now, you can only begin to imagine what took place here. The roof. It's quite extraordinary. This was food storage, right down underground. Yeah, because there'd be no smells. It's like literally underground. And this tiny little guy is the Borman's bunker. Oh yeah, but you've just got to use your imagination a little bit. Go in. Look how close together the walls are. It's like incredibly skinny. We've got again above us metal, steel, yeah, steel plates at each of the levels that take it up. Crazy. Was it hot or cold in there?
It's cold actually.
Why do you think it was cold?
Because it's stone. It's
Yeah. Yep.
Well, underground.
Part underground and stone. Yep. Good to see all those castles. They're making you learn something. She appreciates full-time travel. Before World War I, the forest of Gorlitz, which is where we are, was used as a recreation area. In 1911, the hotel and restaurant was built here. The construction of Wushans began in early autumn of 1940, and building continued to the 20th of November 1944, when the headquarters were moved to Bad Neuem. This headquarters covered 2.5 square kilometres in the forest of 8 square kilometres. Like, it's pretty dense forest too, isn't it, Dad? More so outside of here than where we are right now, because obviously they've got trails for tourists and everything, but leading in here was probably a much better idea of what it would have been like. So we're just standing in front of Hitler's bunker, along with 50 million other people. Now, the actual headquarters was built by 2,000 to 3,000 workers from the organisation. Hitler first arrived here on the 24th of June 1941, 3 days after the invasion of the Soviet Union. It was close to the Soviet border at that time. This is in Hitler's bunker. The actual restaurant that was built here and hotel actually burnt down in a fire in 1945. In this area up behind me is where Hitler first walked his dog Blondie. This is his actual bunker. Hitler's bunker was the largest building, or the largest object of the headquarters. It has 6 entrances from the north side, and it had a roof that was 8.5 metres thick. Yikes. The main square of Warsaw, Poland.
I think that's shopping.
You think? All right, let's go. So sad. Some of these stories are just makes you very grateful for what you have. And freedom. And disinfecting the newcomers was one of the camp's obligatory rituals. After showering, prisoners were made to immerse themselves in concrete tubs filled with a disinfecting solution. During the prisoner's stay in the camp's baths, and underwear was rarely changed, usually once every few weeks. Women had to shower and be disinfected in the neighbouring barracks, number 42. A very sombre event. All the shoes from all the people that perished here. Was used to store the remains of corpses burnt in the crematorium around the period of July 1944. They have a part of a chassis from a lorry on the left that was used as the base to pile up dead bodies ready for burning in 1943. Then a furnace from the crematorium situated in Middlefield 1. About 100 corpses were burnt each day in that field, and a long crate used in camp to carry the corpses. As we make our way out the ex-German prison camp, it's definitely not an uplifting experience, but it's good to have some understanding and to show our kids what happened. off to explore Krakow today, and an interesting van life story. When you're wild camping, particularly right near capital cities, you always have to be prepared if you have to do a move. So this morning we were parked in one spot, and it was a designated parking spot, but there was a market going to happen on the Sunday. So at 5 o'clock we heard people starting to set up. We always have saved in the TomTom another destination just as a backup. So we were able to quickly just pack up enough, move to the next destination, and then finish sleeping. So, and we've ended up about 2 k's closer to the city that we're going exploring today. Hey Dad.
Yeah,
5 o'clock
this morning.
5 o'clock wake up call. But we're here, and now we're 2 k's each way closer to walking into the city. So winner winner.
Chicken dinner.
The Barbican, together with the remnants of the city walls, 3 towers and the armoury, is the most interesting piece of Gothic defensive architecture erected at the end of the 15th century. It was surrounded by a moat and connected with St Florian's Gate by a long causeway known as the Neck, which is where we are about to pass under. Florian Gate. So the markets I just showed you are inside the actual squares building, but then there's these markets outside. Now all these are very touristy prices. Like we found a bracelet that Brianne really liked. It was going to be like 525 of their money, which is like 210 of ours. Now it was selling silver and it was amber, so you know, but yeah, you're going to pay the price because you're in Krakow. So pretty much the markets that we've found outside of here and the shops out of the capital cities, like normal, you're going to save money, but they're still fun to look at. And I believe we are about to try. How do you say this?
Sorry, my English is...
This is called...
It's 1, 2, 3, yes? Zigrilla. This is with bacon, with cranberry sauce, or without sauce, without bacon. You know,
very yummy. Looking forward to trying it. Okay, so what was it? Great timing. Cheese.
Right.
There was one that was cheese only, and then there was one that was cheese wrapped in bacon, and they have a cranberry sauce on the side. And what did you think, Brianne?
Honestly, I think that was pretty good.
What do you think, Dad?
That was good.
That was good, hey?
But I had a little
Give me
bit
that
of
squeaky
squeak.
cheese.
Yeah, it did. It tasted like the squeaky cheese we had from Finland. But oh my god, so good. And it was like so cheap. So really, we just got 3, like a little taste testing platter each, like $10 Australian. We love it. Trying new foods. So we had a wonderful day in Krakow today. I actually really loved it. It has to be one of my favourite cities of Poland that we've visited while we've been here. And we're now on our way to Wroclaw. Goodness knows on the pronunciation. One thing that I thought I would remember to tell you, Poland has 4 toll roads. They're all A1, A2, A3, A4, whatever. They're all A something. So whatever you're following, GPS or TomTom or maps, just keep that in mind. It is Sunday, so Krakow was actually busier than what it might normally be, but we found it really easy to navigate and we had a really good time there. Yeah, beautiful buildings, you know, nice walk. And when we got back, we went down to Schindler's factory. That was, you know, sort of concluding our week in Poland of war-related visits. You know, you get something different from each one, and you know, there's bound to be some more info to follow soon on those from us. Now we're heading to Wroclaw, which we'll have a look at. We'll spend our last night tonight in Poland before heading over to Germany. Off exploring Wroclaw today, and we're pretty excited. After Krakow yesterday, very cool. This is pretty exciting. What a beautiful square. May not even be called a square, but she's beautiful. I know, all different colours. The town hall, this grand edifice, took almost 2 centuries to complete. The work on the 66-metre high tower and decoration continued for another century. The eastern facade reflects the stages of the town hall's development, split into 3 distinct elements. The segment to the right, with its austere early Gothic feature, is the oldest. It's incredible, isn't it? While the delicate carving in the section to the left shows elements of the early Renaissance style. Prisoners' sentences were once read aloud from the little loggia. The central section dates from the 16th century and is topped by an ornamented triangular roof adorned with pinnacles. The astronomical clock, which is pretty special, made of larch wood and showing the time and phases of the moon, was built in 1580. The southern facade, dating from the early 16th century, is the most elaborate, with 3 projections, a pair of ornate bay windows and carved stone figures. Gosh, that is beautiful. Brianne's all excited. Oh, she's found more names. That's a 1 find. Okay, so, yep, anyone coming to Wroclaw, there is a map, I kid you not. And she didn't have the map, but on the way in here we have found these little guys. Now they are a cross between a dwarf and a gnome, more like a leprechaun, and they're all through the city. There's 150 of these little guys, all doing different things, and we've been finding them willy-nilly on the way in here anyway, and we think they're pretty cool. So anyone coming in, keep an eye out. Map is 8 Poland money in 2018. Look at the colour in the square, like honestly, this is really beautiful. And it's one of the things I loved about Krakow and now Wroclaw, you are delivering. Hansel and Gretel house. Oh! Gorgeous. The gnome thing may have blown out. There's actually 212 of the little guys now. There used to be 150. So 212 of those little gnomes spread out through the city. It's a fantastic idea, but it is getting rather competitive. So we are walking the city as a unit, but we are dive bombing the gnomes. So we have had to call in to get some cash out of the ATM. When you change borders and you're changing currency, always try and have some cash on you before you get to the campground. Unfortunately, we didn't have any euros on us, and the banking details she gave us just didn't sit with our bank online. So we've come into this beautiful little town. Absolutely beautiful. And Daddy is picking on me again. But look, still beautiful, I don't care. Our campground tonight. Oh my goodness. And animals. This is a kid's paradise. Seriously. Miss B hasn't even seen all this yet, but look at this. I'm actually in the golf playing area now. The green, but it's not very green, but the green. Look at this, we've got donkeys, we've got a little horse. Oh my gosh, Miss B will never leave. Goats. I know. We have a house guest tonight, and Miss B is very excited. The campground we're staying at has a very friendly cat. So, and he must know that Mum's not a cat person because he keeps chasing me when I go up to the water and the showers. who else's van looks like a Chinese laundry. And that just goes to show how long it's been since we've been able to get a good wash in. It's like, oh, and the cat's out again because I'm out. It's now brushing against my legs.